distilled water, and I was like, I think that might be the reason why it reacts badly to tap water, maybe. I think
okay, I didn't realize that at all. That's really cool.
I think he's using ink water with like distilled water, like kind of Tory.
What's distilled water anyway? Is that like water that you're supposed to use for your iron?
Feel what?
Iron? For like ironing.
Oh, I don't.
I don't know why this has been brought up.
My clothes.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. It's weird to go to so much effort to
drying now.
Oh, nice. Really, it's such a lovely texture. You can really like see the paper through it, but it kind of looks like when you mix like ink and turpentine as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never tried that. Yeah.
I don't think you really need to. I think that's way better.
Less poisonous as well.
yeah. Less poisonous for you and I guess the planet as well.
I remember
you're less likely to faint when you're painting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is really fun. I'm really enjoying doing weird tadpoles and things.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And it's nice because the ink keeps on blurring in ways I don't mean it to, which just makes it more loose and fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
So your way of working hasn't like really changed since lockdown, but what was I going to say? I've lost the question on the paper.
I'm just going to reply to Ollie's comment.
Yeah, do.
Agree with that. I'm not going to put turpentine on my desk.
Yeah, no, it's not a good idea.
Spill it.
Can I see your desk again? Because before you started, it looked like it was covered in ink, which I really liked the text. It kind of looks like your work.
Yeah, it is a bit. So yeah, that's kind of the surface.
That's actually really nice.
Made gross over the years because I have no respect for anything.
No respect for art, music.
No. Doing whatever's whirring around inside my head. This makes me sound like really uncaring about what I do, which is totally not. I don't want this to be watching this. Be like, oh, she just doesn't get quite obviously the opposite, but much more of a will to the way.
Yeah, I think it doesn't at all seem like you're uncaring with what you do. It just seems like
uncaring of reality. Yeah.
You just don't care, do you?
Oh, no.
I absolutely love that goat. It reminds me of have you seen the goats in near Clifton Suspension Bridge?
Yeah, they're good, aren't they? Only at a distance.
They're really nice.
Like,
pardon?
I've only really seen them at a distance.
I have as well. I was trying to find them the other week, but I couldn't see them at all. And apparently there's only 2 left, so maybe that's why. What does it feel like? Also, I feel like this is kind of a boring question. What does it feel like living in the south as opposed to from living in Leeds. Because Jay and I were talking. No, Robbie and I were talking about this beforehand.
So the difference between the south and the north. I mean, there's no scraps at the chip shop, maybe. No, in seriousness. So I grew up in the Dales, so in a rural area. So I definitely miss the landscape of the north and the ruggedness and a lot of things, like culturally, I guess. But yeah, and like the like seeing big hills every day, like wherever you look.
Yeah.
Like I miss that daily, and I guess that landscape influenced me in ways as well.
Yeah. That was going to be my next question.
Actually using colour nowadays. All I want to use is like brown and purple and dark green.
Which does seem like it's kind of from living in the countryside, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I Leeds, but I just lived there for a while and fancied a change. And I really like Bristol, and Bristol's full of pretty nice people, which is good.
Yeah. Bristol's a really fun place.
The shame the rents.
Yeah, definitely. I can imagine it being very different to up north.
Yeah.
But also in comparison to London.
Oh my god, yeah. No, I don't much. And I used to think I wanted to live in London, but I don't think I do.
No, same here. I was adamant that I was going to move to London, and I was only looking at London universities when I was studying. But really glad I moved here instead. I think it's nice to have like different areas that are quite green. Like the Downs, part of the Downs is actually really lovely to walk around. Robbie's just asked a question on here. Oh, have you read it?
Yeah. So
I think that's so good. Yeah, how do we speak?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know what voice the cat speaks in. It's kind of like when you're just like reading in your own head or thinking, and you don't really hear the voice. So I don't know my voice, which is very unfortunate because it's not a great voice.
I really want it to sound like you, though. That would be great.
Maybe it sounds, that, or it has exactly the same voice as John Cooper Clarke.
Yeah.
One of the best voices in the world.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I really liked the way you were branding this as well. It was as me versus you. I felt like we're gonna have like a Tekken style fight online. That's all I was picturing when you were doing the branding for it.
Okay.
If we were gonna have a fight, what fight would we have? Like an artistic fight.
An artistic fight.
Yeah, I don't really know how that would go.
Who could draw the most prawns in a minute? Maybe shrimps, even.
Do you want to try that?
Okay. Even like one to finish a whole shrimp Because,
Pardon?
well, like, what constitutes a whole shrimp? Because you could just draw a swirl, and that would look.
Yeah, we could do loads of like.
Yeah.
You could do shrimp from really far away as well, so you could just do loads of like squiggles.
It's really
It should be hard. I think that would be cool. Do you have any advice for your younger self regarding art? Did you find it really difficult at a time when you were younger, making work, or like before uni?
Yeah, certainly when I was at uni. I mean, university is amazing, and I had a good time education-wise, but it is also a space where you can do a lot of thinking, and I did a bit too much thinking, I guess, and I would feel quite self-conscious about the line between illustration and art, and which one is better than the other, what's good, what's bad, like how can I make look something bad in a good way. And yeah, I got myself a bit rut by overthinking things, and when I came out of uni, I started working as an illustrator pretty quickly, and I found when I was doing it for my job, I had to throw out that kind of petty inner monologue.
Yeah.
Not just do it, and like going back to what I said before about finding a process that I enjoy physically doing was important. And yeah, basically I told myself to chill out.
Yeah.
And like, experiment as much as you want to. I mean, I tell my younger self to chill out in so many ways. But
yeah, I think that's really helpful to hear as well, because I haven't really been making work in the last year. So, and when I started making work recently, I was like, oh, this isn't illustration, this is something else. And I think it is good to not limit yourself really to it being one thing, and
and
to
like,
chill out as well.
Someone just commented, like, talking about the difference between art and illustration, and
oh yeah,
and I mean, the thing is like, illustration isn't a genre of art by any means. It's a job and a process. Like, if I just do a drawing, that's not illustration inherently. It's just a drawing. So I worded that a bit not so well.
Yeah. No, I think that's right.
Yeah, I guess I was stuck on trying to figure out if what I wanted to do was illustration or if it was worthy of my time, or I don't know.
No, absolutely. I think a couple of people from my year at uni on my course, I think some of them have changed more towards fine art.
Yeah.
Which is like an absolutely fine thing to do. It's just finding. Pardon?
Okay, if you want to be a fine artist.
It's fine. We don't hold that against you. Yeah, and I think you can be both as well.
Yeah.
Would you say you were both, or would you say you were just an illustrator?
No, it's funny. Like, I wouldn't describe myself as a fine artist, and I don't know what fine artist means. To be fine, like, am I fine?
Yeah.
Am I, wink fine? Like, I think I'm an artist, but I'm not. I know some people shy away from the term illustrator. Maybe has connotations of being a bit cutesy, or but it's my job. Like, I illustrate.
Yeah. And I think it's not all like children's books and stuff. I think that's a beautiful area of illustration. And the same with comics. But I guess we haven't really talked to anyone that does editorial work as a job. What advice would you give to someone who is an illustrator or is graduating and wants to go into editorial work, and how to approach it? And did you do any like speculative editorials before you started working for different magazines, etc.?
I definitely did whilst I was at uni, and that's quite good in that you practicing that thought process of approaching an article and looking through it and assessing how you want to illustrate that. I think it's good to have in your portfolio, probably, if you don't have any actual editorial. Actual as in commissioned client work. But I think assess what kind of editorial will suit you. So I don't really do I don't do any, or I haven't been commissioned to do any political artwork. I don't really do like businessy stuff. I guess my work lends itself more to people's personal experiences and stories. And I will say, if you are thinking about doing an editorial, maybe think of ways to illustrate that aren't literal. But then again, if a story's a story, you can just illustrate a nice little slice from it and think of an interesting way to draw it. I'm not particularly of editorial illustration, which is quite reliant on symbols and visual gags, as it were, but that's just personal feelings, and I guess my work doesn't really work like that anyway.
Absolutely, but it works in other ways that you can communicate.
And I'll say, if you are thinking about doing editorial, practice doing things quickly. I mean, when you start off doing practice pieces, take as much time as you want to, because you can sort of develop that part of your body that responds to words with images. But eventually, when you do get asked to do it, you might have to do something in a day or 2 days.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, because your work is quite quick. So I can imagine it being a lot better for short editorial briefs, whereas I know some people that spend a couple of days on one image, which is also fine, but
how they have
it's brilliant. But I guess it's just trying it out, and maybe you might have to change the way you work slightly to fit it in with, if you wanted to do shorter briefs, probably.
You need to, if you're thinking about doing that, maybe if your work is usually quite labor intensive, I'm not saying give that up, but have a alternate way of working that can be used for quick turnaround briefs. And also, it's not just that they're quick, it's that you're likely to be asked to provide edits on what you do.
Of course,
digitally or otherwise. But also say the way I work, because it's so when I get an editorial brief, I'll obviously have sketches that I give to the client, and then they decide which one they like, and then because the way I do my finals is the way I work in my sketchbook. You know, I draw straight away, so I do it and I just draw it a few times until it works. If you know what I mean.
Okay, cool.
Sketch underneath, I just draw.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense.
Yeah, it's that thing of like I spend a lot of time looking at my sketchbook and being like, oh, this is really good. This is better than the final piece. So I was like, why don't I have my final piece to be like that?
Do you have any projects that you're working on at the moment that you're allowed to talk about, or do you have any current work that you're doing?
Not
that you are allowed to talk about.
Yeah, I have like one job on at the moment that I can't really talk about right now.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I should have probably asked this beforehand.
But, I mean, things are a little bit quiet at the moment. So if anyone is watching and is thinking about hiring me, I am quite free.
No.
But yeah, I'm okay at the moment. It's not like completely dead, and I'm filling that time with doing my own thing as well.
That's really cool.
Given the circumstances of the current world, I wouldn't advise anyone, if they can help it, to freak out about that kind of thing right now, because yeah, do you know what I mean?
Freak out about what thing? Do you mean not having work?
Pushing yourself to have like a big personal project that's like that you're going to come out of isolation and you're going to have your big magnum opus. Like, if you do, that's incredible. But equally, I would advise, if you have the luxury to use art as something that's cathartic and a distraction.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's kind of what this
have what's in you to do it.
Yeah. I think that's kind of what this is about. It's about just helping people, I guess, get through what's going on at the moment, and not feel pressured to even share what they're doing. I think it's just a way of coping with what's going on, because I think that art really helps me when I'm struggling in general. So, and it's a nice thing to all be doing together as well when we're all inside.
Yeah, it's something you can do at home easily enough.
Yeah.
And yeah, but also the element of people sharing things right now is also nice. Basically, just saying, just do what you do, what's happening.
Yeah.
Just self a luxury if you can.
Yeah. I think looking after yourself is the most important thing, and people right now, it is going to be really hard just to do even really small things, like obviously going to the shops is really difficult. So just take care and be nice to each other, I think. Yeah. Good message. Would you ever want to do any workshops with kids? Because you're talking about your work, kind of led off to children's books.
Yeah.
Would you ever do workshops to get kids into art?
If anyone thinks the kids would like it, I guess to be honest, my approach to making art is often trying to work how a child does.
Yeah.
So I'd be more learning from them than me.
I think it'd be so good.
yeah.
And for people trying to get their kids involved in this activity, do you have any pointers for that? I think that's quite a hard question, seeing as neither of us have kids. But
yeah, I don't know what the activity is as much as it's just drawing together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a parent or a sibling of children, and if you have time right now, I think it could be nice for you to draw together. I mean, I don't want to talk about this like I know anything and assume that people aren't drawing with their kids. Or, but yeah, I'm not really sure what we're doing right now, so I don't know how to advise.
No, same. Oh, someone just said they've just told. Yeah, that's really cool. They were getting their kid to join along. Also, I've got a question from Harry asking what sketchbook you use. Because you were saying earlier that it was like a cheap £4 one.
Yeah, they're from Muji.
Oh yeah.
They're the it's like 200-page book. I don't know what they're called, but you'll sort of, I guess you'll know when you see it. But yeah, the paper is like perfect for me. It's like it holds ink fairly well, but it also goes a bit roughly and weird in a way that I like.
Hi, sorry, it ended really abruptly. I'm going to try and get Molly to join in. Sorry about that, everybody. I'll try and get Molly to join in. Okay. I think maybe we just went over the time, so that's why it went. Okay, Molly's back in. I'll invite her back in. Hi. I think we went over the time, so it just.
Yeah, I think it's only an hour long or something.
Have we been doing it for an hour?
Yeah, it's
mad. So you were saying about the books. Also, how would you spell Muji? Is it
Muji?
Muji? Okay, I thought so, but I didn't know if it was definitely correct. I really like what you're doing at the moment.
Yeah, she's really cute.
Yeah, it's really nice. Have you also, like, on the topic of making art together at home at the moment, have you seen Grayson Perry's new series, The Art Club?
No. Yeah.
Not yet. Oh, okay.
No.